Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down for you exactly how I make an additional £4,000 a week alongside my full-time job or for the last 9 months whilst I've been on maternity leave. So today is Monday, the 1st of July, and this is my first day back at work after 9 months of maternity leave. But because it is a new month, it's also the day that I am going to sit down right now. I've just had my lunch and I'm going to go through my finance planning spreadsheet and break down all of the money. I'll look through all of my bank statements, I'll look at all of the expenses, I'll calculate all of the taxes, and I just kind of set this time aside on the first of every month to really sit down as a bit of a ritual with myself and organize the money, really pay attention to it, look at it. And I check my bank statements every single day, so I already know how much top line revenue I have made for the month. But now I'm going to sit down, I'm going to break out all of the different revenue streams and kind of have a bit of a think about what worked for me, what didn't work for me, and also look at all of my expenses. So I thought I would show you how I do that, what it looks like, and how I set it up inside my finance planner. So that's what we're going to cover in this video. Okay, here we are inside of my finance planner. I've got my cup of tea and I'm ready to go through all of my finances. So this is my financial planner. It's built in Google Sheets and I use this planner religiously. I don't think there's anything better than using a spreadsheet to track your finances in your business. Yes, you can get fancy apps. Yes, you can do various different bits and pieces with your accounting software, but I honestly don't think anything beats using a spreadsheet because you get the habit and the ritual of sitting down and actually paying attention and looking at your finances. So this is my finance planner. I had one for last year. I made a new one for this year. I also have this available as a template. So if you're like, yes, I love the look of this, I want to use it in my business and in my life, especially if you have any kind of side hustle and you want to be tracking all of the money, then I will leave it linked below. It comes in a bundle along with my pricing calculator. Let's dive into the setup I have got here. So you may have seen this if you follow me on TikTok, because I do screenshots of this spreadsheet every single month, but just in case you've never seen it in full before, this is my main setup and target page. The date that the spreadsheet started on, which for me was the 1st of January 2024. My personal tax rate is 34%. Now, I must say that taxes are completely individual. And yes, there are rules that apply to everybody, but your own personal tax circumstances will be different to mine. So how I account for my own personal tax circumstances in this spreadsheet are very specific to me, because if I wanted to be super tax efficient, then I would employ myself by this company and have my salary as a tax deductible expense. So yeah, just take the tax rates from a personal perspective with a pinch of salt, because your tax situation will be different to mine. But 34% is the effective tax rate that I look at for my finances if I were to withdraw any money from this business. Then we've got the business tax rate of 25%. That's corporation tax. You pay 25% of your profits in the form of corporation tax. So that is all the money that's left over after you deduct all of your expenses. And then I have the opening cash balance for the year, which was the money after all of my expenses at the end of last year. My goal for this year is to make £300,000, including VAT. And then I do a profit first approach to margin allocation, which is basically, I set out at the start of the year thinking, okay, I want to make a 70% profit and I only want to allocate 30% to expenses. And that just allows me to keep myself in check to make sure that I'm not running away with my expenses because there's money to be spent. And I'm not kind of just looking at things in the wrong way, and I'm not having a profit first approach. If you've not read the book Profit First by Mike, I'm going to butcher his last name, Miklavich, I think. Mike Miklavich, I think is how you say his name. Profit First, it's excellent. Highly, highly recommend. So that's my margin allocation. And what that will do is every single month I will have a target for my revenue. And then I also have a target for my expenses. And then there's just some notes here on then if I hit these targets, how much I'll be paying in company taxes, what my personal taxes will be, what I would be able to take home as an income, and then my personal profit margin as in like how much money I have made myself. Then we've got 12 months of the year. So for me, I started this spreadsheet in January, so it aligns perfectly well. But if you were to use this spreadsheet, your month one would just align with whatever month you put in at the top here. And as you can see, I had some very punchy targets for this year, which are even more punchy than last year's targets, because I want to make this £300,000. And basically how I do it is extremely crude. I just allocate a percentage growth rate month on month, and that gives me my new target for the month. So far over here on the right hand side, we have the actuals for the year. And so far, from an income perspective, I have been on target every single month, which has been amazing and incredible. And I have been under, as you can see here, from expenses, because everything is in green. I have been under budget on expenses, and my profit has been high as well. I'm going to pause here and say, yes, I pay taxes. Yes, HMRC, no. And yeah, not all of this money belongs to me. I know that. And I am VAT registered. So VAT is value added tax. We pay it in the UK and most of Europe. And yeah, you pay it on all of your income over £85,000 on qualifying income. Sometimes there's a bit of a grey area around what you charge VAT on, etc., especially when it comes to educational content and products. But what I would say is just be very, very careful around this, and you should always speak to an accountant. I've got a great accountant I've been working with for like the last, I think Ben has been my accountant for around about 9 years now. He works with me on all of my businesses, keeps me right on everything, and he's great. So if you've got any concerns about you're looking to make additional money alongside a full-time job, you're starting a business for the first time, I highly recommend you speaking to a really excellent accountant. So here we are in month 6. I've got my target income for the month, which was £21,859.70. And now I'm just going to go ahead, first of all, on the left-hand side here and break out all of my different income streams and how much money I made from each of them. So first up, we have got TikTok. Now, I have got, at the time of recording this, 109,000 followers on TikTok, which means that I qualify for the Creator Rewards Program. And that means that I get paid a very small fee per 1,000 qualifying views. So your per 1,000 qualifying views is your RPM, is how much money you get paid. And I get paid around about 52 pence per 1,000 qualifying views on a video. Not all of your views on a video qualify. They have to be over a certain length and a bunch of other factors that TikTok don't disclose. But each of my videos will get a number of qualifying views, and then I get paid around about 52 pence per 1,000 of those qualifying views. And in June, from TikTok, from all of the videos I posted, and I actually think I only posted around about 8 videos on TikTok in June because I have been on holiday. I was away. I took a bunch of time off. I didn't really post very much. My historical videos were still making me money, however, and the grand total for TikTok was £19.06. So not a huge amount. I think people, you see these videos of being like, oh, I want to reach 10,000 followers on TikTok because then I'm going to make loads of money from the Creator Rewards Program. No, even people who are going hugely viral, getting millions of views on a video, aren't actually getting paid that much from going viral on TikTok. So it's definitely not this massive, I guess, pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. It's not paying people a huge amount of money. So £19.06 is how much money I made from posting videos on TikTok. Next up is affiliates. So affiliates is a really interesting business model, right? Because essentially all affiliate marketing is, and this is something that I think gets bandied about all the time online, where people are like, I get into affiliate marketing and all you need to do is sign up to Amazon Associates and drive people to a link and then you make money passively. And yes, affiliate marketing can be an excellent source of passive income, but you do have to create the content at the top of the funnel to drive people through, to get people to click on your affiliate link and sign up to something. And I also think you should only really have affiliate links for things that you genuinely love, that you use, that you recommend, and then you make a small percentage of the income that the company makes from the person that you referred. So at the moment, at the time of recording this, I only have one affiliate partnership that I make money from, and that is with Stan Store. Stan Store is what I use for the link in my bio on Instagram and also on TikTok, and it's how I sell most of my digital products. I also sell my digital products just through a direct checkout on Stripe, which is probably a video for another day. But for the most part, I make money selling my digital products through Stan Store. It's what I recommend to anyone who takes my digital product masterclass. And if you are just starting out, I always think Stan is amazing because you can effectively build a website in under 15 minutes. It doesn't have to be this hugely complex thing with all of this fancy branding. It just needs to work and to be able to guide people through from your social profile to purchasing from you. It has a really slick checkout process. It's kind of a 1-2 page checkout, which is amazing. It converts really, really well. And as someone who is a professional investor and looks at technology all of the time, I think this platform is amazing. It's why I highly recommend it. And that is why I make money through my affiliate link promoting it. So through affiliates from Stan Store in June, I made, let me have a little look here at this notepad. I made £186 from affiliates from Stan Store last month, which is amazing. Now, this is the only piece of recurring income that I have in my business because I get paid a percentage of fees from Stan Store for every active customer that stays a subscriber with them for the lifetime of their subscription. So £186, assuming everyone stays a subscriber, is recurring income for me every single month. And actually that's jumped up quite a bit since last month, which is great. Next is one-to-one mentorship. Now, I don't do much of this, and definitely once I go back to work and I fully get into the swing of things, I won't be doing one-to-one mentorship really at all anymore because I just don't have the capacity for it. But I did do a bit of one-to-one mentorship in June. I had 2 power hour sessions for £300 each. So in June, I made £600 from one-to-one mentorship, and I love doing those sessions because it allows me to have a deep dive for an hour into someone's business, give really actionable, tangible advice and feedback, put a plan together for them, and then off they go and execute it. And it's great. So one-to-one mentorship, £600. UGC is next on my list. Again, this is not something I do a huge amount of. However, in June, I had 2 of my absolute favorite brands of all time, of software companies that I use and absolutely love, come to me and ask me to do some UGC content. I have only had cash land from one of the jobs so far, and I only account for money as cash landed. I never account on a P&L basis when I am looking at money in this business because things can happen. People don't pay you. They don't pay you on time. And it can be really misleading for yourself mainly to think, oh, I've made all of this money from doing X, Y, and Z when it hasn't actually landed in your bank. So I only account when I actually get the money. So UGC in June, and this is from one brand for 3 or 4 videos, I think it was, I made £750. User-generated content, in case you don't know what that is where a brand will pay you to create content, make a video for them that they can use in their own ads or on their own social media channels. You don't have to post it on your platform at all, and therefore you don't need to have an audience to be a UGC creator. I know a lot of amazing people who don't have really any social media presence at all, or a very small social media presence, but they make a lot of money doing UGC content creation where they make content for brands to use on their channels. So it is an excellent source of additional income, makes a great side hustle. It is hard work. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of work and skill that goes into producing this kind of video. But if you get it right and you can dedicate the time to it, then UGC can be a great way of making additional income, especially if it's like alongside a full-time job. And finally, of course, we have digital products. Digital products are my absolute bread and butter of how I make money online. And I love them. I think it is an excellent source of additional income. I think it's a great business model. It's highly scalable. And once you've set up the machine and the engine, yes, you still have to work on it. I'm not here to profess that this is totally passive income, but it can be very leveraged and very passive, that you make content at the top of the funnel. People go through an email sequence and you serve them and they buy your digital products from you. So from digital products in June, I made, oh my gosh, £14,852.67, which is wild. So my main digital products for June were my business spreadsheet bundle, which is this that you're looking at right now, my Notion Ultimate Business Planner. And I guess that's because people are kind of halfway through the year. They're looking for a bit of organization, a refresh, a realignment of their goals. So my Ultimate Business Planner did really, really well in June. And then also, as always, my AI and automation starter kit. So those are my kind of 3 core products that consistently make me a lot of money online, and they all have their own individual email funnels that lead into them. They all have their own opt-ins. They all cross-pollinate. And I spent a lot of time, if you've watched my video on how I went from £0 to £170,000, I spent a lot of time in kind of August, September time last year refining the funnels for those products and setting them up in the first place. And now they do really work like a well-oiled machine. And it is something that I look at and I tinker and I edit and I update as and when I need to keep it fresh and to keep the messaging fresh. But on the whole, it is highly leveraged and highly passive income. So for June, that takes our total to £16,407.73. So this box is red. It means I didn't hit my goal, but that's okay because I can't always hit my goals. And £16,500 is still an insane amount of money to be making in a month when I genuinely didn't do very much because I was on holiday for 2 weeks of it. And then I've been getting ready to go back to work to return from maternity leave. So I am still super, super pleased with that amount of money. But let's break down the expenses and the tax on that income. So lots of my expenses in this business are recurring and they're the same every single month. However, every month, without fail, I still manually go through my bank statements, I still check everything, and I still write out absolutely everything that I have spent. So I have variable expenses, I have fixed expenses. My variable expenses are over here because sometimes they can go up and down depending on the number of users. And that is mainly for software. So when I do a big jump in email subscribers, for example, I have to pay more in Klaviyo. When I do a big jump in people going through my email funnels, I have to pay more to Zapier to get more zaps. So they're my 2 most expensive pieces of software. But first up is Klaviyo. Klaviyo is my email software. It's what I use to send out all of my emails and all of my funnels. And actually this month it came under a little bit because I paid some money in advance in May because I jumped up a tier. So I actually only had £79.54 left to pay on Klaviyo this month. So it's a bit lower than normal. Loom is video recording software, is what I'm using to record my screen right now. That came in bang on at £11.90. Next is ChatGPT. I pay for ChatGPT OpenAI Pro, and for that I paid £57.11. I pay that in US dollars, so it varies a little bit every single month depending on the exchange rate. I get a ton of value out of ChatGPT. I think it's well worth the paid subscription. ManyChat is what I use for automations on Instagram. Again, I pay for that in US dollars. So this month it came out at £11.90. Then I had some testing. So testing is where I will budget some money every single month to test out new pieces of software. And it might be a new app, it might be some new AI kit, whatever it might be. But I always allocate a little bit of money every single month into a testing pot. And this month I'm actually over budget, and I spent £50 testing out different bits and pieces to see if they would work, if they would add value, and if I like them and I keep the subscriptions, I can add them into my recurring income. But I always think it's worth having a little buffer there for testing out some different subscriptions. My website, I budgeted 25 and it was actually over at 50. This month I had to go up a tier in Shopify. Typeform is what I use for feedback. I use it in all of my digital products, and I use it in my digital product masterclass to get feedback from everyone who's in my mentorship group. So again, that runs on like a number of forms that get submitted. So this month for Typeform, I spent £34.32. Zoom, I think I'm over on Zoom this month. Oh no, I'm under £15.15 on Zoom this month. Oh, that's good. I don't know what I did to be under. Zapier, I'm also under on 108. I had fewer zaps than normal. That will be because I just had less customers this month than last month. Last month was a really great month for me. I think in May, I made around about £21,000. So this month I'm down. I didn't use as many zaps. So I only paid £108 for Zapier. I paid £18 for Google as normal. This month on coaching, I paid £375 on coaching. And then miscellaneous. This is a pot of a whole bunch of different things, from getting some physical products, because I'm back in that market of potentially testing out some physical products, and various different pieces. So bits and bobs that will just make this video far too long-winded to go through. But in total, about £1,500 on miscellaneous expenses. So yeah, I don't normally spend that much money on miscellaneous expenses, but this month I spent £1,500 on making my total variable expenses £2,310.92. I then have my fixed expenses, and again, these stay the same every single month. £29.99 on Stan, £11 on insurance, £5 on my bank account. I use Monzo for that. This month my phone was over, and that's because I did a call with someone in LA about a potential brand partnership, and they called my mobile, and it cost me £41.38. Your mobile phone, if you use it for work purposes, is a tax deductible expense. So this is my work phone, £41.38. And then finally, I paid £36 on Xero. So my fixed expenses were £123.37. My total expenses, if we go back up here, to £2,434.29, which I think is pretty good. Let's have a look at the taxes, and this is where things get really depressing. So I account here, first of all, in my Monzo account, which is where the money comes into from Stripe, from Stan Store. If anyone pays me an invoice directly, it goes straight into my bank account, and at the source, the moment it comes in, I move 45% of that money away into a separate tax pot, all within Monzo. 20% of it is for VAT, and 25% of it is allocated for corporation tax. Then at the end of every month, I will split that pot out, and I'll know, okay, this is how much money that I made this month that I need to pay in VAT. And then this is how much money, after I deduct all of the qualifying expenses, I need to put away for corporation tax, because this company runs on a profit first basis. It is profitable. It will have to pay corporation tax, and it will have to pay a higher rate of corporation tax, over £50,000 in a year. So this is how much money I will have to pay in VAT this month, £3,281.55. And then in corporation tax, I will need to split out £3,493.36. VAT, I'll pay on a quarterly basis. And then corporation tax, you pay 9 months after the end of your business's financial year and your accounts have been filed. So that money actually hangs around for a really long time. So it's really important that you do siphon it away. And if you can, sometimes you can choose to pay on account and you can just choose to pay to not have the money anymore. Or I move it into a separate bank account altogether so that I can't even see it within Monzo anymore and I can't touch it at all. I don't have any costs of goods, but if you did use this spreadsheet and you had a cost of good business where you were buying in physical products for something, then you could allocate it here. Because that will come off your gross profit margin. Then the final part of this dashboard is personal income. Now, if I wanted to withdraw money from this company, this is how I would calculate it. So I could set myself a monthly target here and I can make a withdrawal. Now, it's really important to note that you actually only have a certain amount of money here, like available for withdrawal after you deduct all of your expenses and your taxes. So of the £16,474.73 available after the expenses, after the taxes, for me to withdraw if I so wish to, would be £7,204.91. So let's say I decided I wanted to withdraw this month £5,000. Then we've got that 34% from the dashboard that's taking the 34% away from the 7,000 and saying, well, away from the 5,000, saying, hey, okay, you need to save that. This is how much money I would like cash have available in my bank account. That's like, you've paid the tax on it, you've paid all of the different taxes on this money. You're free, you're clear, you can go and spend this. And that is £3,312.50. So that is always a very humbling number when you get to it at the end, especially when you see yourself making a lot of money in top line revenue. I think it's really important to be transparent about all of the expenses and all of the tax that's involved in that to get to like a cash number that you might be able to have available to you at the end of the day. And again, just before people come for me in the comments, I know that if I wanted to run this in a more tax efficient way, I could employ myself as a salaried member of staff within this company, take a salary, pay PAYE tax, income tax, national insurance, and then that salary would be tax deductible from corporation tax. This is why I like to be transparent about this kind of thing, but you have to be clear around everyone's personal circumstances is different, and you need to work with an accountant to work out what is best for you and your personal circumstances. And that is why I do not withdraw money from this company, because I would be paying a huge, like, marginal rate of tax on this income. So before I wrap things up, let's just do some quick maths on how this breaks down on a per week basis. £16,407.73 per week is £4,101.75 from 5 different income streams. And as you can see here, TikTok is potentially not all it's cracked up to be as an income generator, but digital products is by far and away leading the race in terms of ways that I make additional money, additional revenue alongside a full-time job, whilst being on maternity leave, whilst being on holiday. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you don't already subscribe, then please do consider subscribing. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of this video, and I will also leave links to everything, including this spreadsheet, in the description box. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.